Oh my god, please don't break, please don't break. I'm already sweating. Hello everyone and welcome to the Plants But Better channel. I'm Adina and I'm a bit crowded in here because I thought about doing a different video today. Since winter is coming and since I am a propagation maniac, it's safe to say that I ended up with a lot of plants. A lot of Rhaphidophora Tetrasperma plants, to be precise. The initial idea was for them to be on our website, but unfortunately these specimens are not that sellable. And what do I mean by that? Let's see if I can find an example. Oh, I think this one is great. A desirable specimen is one that has fenestrated leaves, and this one has very tiny leaves. And then they kind of fenestrated and then they are tiny again. So that's why these propagations, they don't fit in with the standard that we have. But I love them anyway because they are super pretty. So I thought that I should gather these 6. Yeah, I have 6 propagation, very big propagations. One of it is like, I think it has more than 1 meter. I will show you in just a bit. And we will place them together in this pot. And I will reuse this moss ball. You can even see how big it is, but it's quite big. I will show you in the end like the final plant, how tall it will be. So we will repot these plants today and we'll make them look sexy together. So I will get my gloves since I just got my nails done yesterday. So I have with me the substrate that I'm going to be using. It's a mix based on cocoa fiber, some orchid bark, and some perlite. I use a very lightweight mix because when winter is coming in my country and in my home specifically, let's just say colder than it should be, like in a normal home. And since I can't do much about it, I have to be careful to place my plants in a very well draining substrate. That's why I exaggerated with the orchid barks, and I have a lot of orchid barks in, I think, 4 of these 6 pots. It's not ideal to get rid of all the substrate from your plant, because if you do that, your plant will receive a greater shock, if that makes sense. But enough chit-chat, let's do the working. I will use this tray for the watering. We got a long way to go. I will try to use this tray and remove the plants from the original pots. I have a lot of work to do today. I've been postponing to do this video. It's better to repot your plants when outside is a bit warmer. It's not like completely necessary because plants are pretty reliable and pretty strong, except some of them are really quite annoying when it comes to this type of changes. But Monstera Minima, which is not a Monstera, but I know it's just easier to pronounce, Rhaphidophora Tetrasperma is not that pretentious, if that makes sense. Okay. Now I'm going to remove, I don't know how much you can see because this table is very cluttered. I will remove the pot from each of these plants. Okay, one is done. This one in the terracotta pot is the greatest plant from all of the specimens. It's huge, definitely huge. I will definitely show you at the end this vine, this very big vine. I won't remove a lot of substrate from these plants. I will just be very gentle and mindful that they need to have a bit of the original substrate, especially if the original substrate is high quality. If they had like a dense substrate that doesn't drain water very great, I would definitely remove as much as I can from that shitty substrate. The roots look quite good. This has a little bit of rot in here. I will definitely remove the dead stuff because it's useless. You don't want to... Okay, this is dead. This is a dead root. It's not going to help. And okay, this plant has a lot of dead roots in here. If you have root rot on your plant, but your plant is not completely doomed, just remove the dead stuff. If you can sterilize the roots is great. I will not take that chance today, but it's just better to throw away the substrate. Yeah. I will try to be mindful and to not use that substrate. Why is that? Because the substrate could have some bacteria that could spread to the other plants and to affect the healthy roots. This one looks great. This is healthy. This one has a lot of perlite. If I don't have orchid barks, like enough orchid barks, I use perlite because perlite, oh my god, this has amazing roots. Oh, I think this one is like the most recent propagation. Yes, I remember you. I can put a picture in here because I have a picture with this plant on our blog. We also have the care guide for this plant. It's in video format and in writing as well. I'm trying to do them both, even though I kind of suck at blog posts. They're not that fun. I mean, I like way better to film something than to write it. Yeah, but that's just like... this is tough. This is tough. Some of the roots are a bit stuck in here, and I have to be as gentle as I can to not break them. It's totally okay to break some of them. I mean, you will break the roots if you try to repot your plant, and it's totally okay, especially if you take good care of your plant afterwards. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. And the easiest part is over. Great, now here comes the tricky part because I have to fit all the plants in here. It's like a decent sized a nursery pot. I don't want to get a bigger one because root rot. If you just want to like lower your chances for root rot, don't place your plants in a shitload of substrate. That is very dangerous no matter how great the drainage is going, because a lot of substrate means your water will stay in the same place for a lot of time, for a longer period of time, and if the roots are not able to absorb all that water, well, they rot. So okay, how should I approach this? These are a lot of plants. And I actually have some tiny, well, not tiny, medium-sized propagations, and I don't know if I want them. Actually, you know what? We will definitely use them as well. So I have this plant. It's a bit bent, like all over the place, so I will try to fix it. Another plant, again, propagations that at first they look decent and then they just didn't at some point. And this one has all juvenile leaves. I think I will just place the bigger plants in the pot and then I will figure out if I want to add these little propagations or not. Probably I will, because it will spare me the time to deal with 3 different plants. So I will put some substrate at first the most pole. I will try to center it as best as I can. Okay, I will put a bit of substrate at the base. I will use the original substrate because it looks great. Should I take a picture? This is how it looks like. I have a bit of substrate. Oh, this is the recent propagation. As you can see, I have a lot of juicy aerial roots in here. Please focus, not on my face, but on the roots. I love them. I think this height is good enough. Let's see the next one. I have to be very careful to not break the stem. Oh, this one has 2 vines. That is great. The result should look amazing. The next one. Let's try with this one. This one has a very skinny stem and it's very tall. I'm already sweating. I'm starting to think that this job is not a one-man job. Oh my god, please don't break, please don't break. Can you even see the struggling? I don't know. Trying to do the best I can. I can't do this. I can't do this. What if I just place the plants without supporting them? Would that be easier? Yeah, because I could not like use both hands to repot this plant. Let it be. Let it go. Let it go. I'm not trying to decorate this moss pole to be uniform. I want to have the plants up front because this will make my days easier, you know, since I don't have to rotate the plant every time I water it. And if you have plants on moss poles, usually they look better on the front and not so much on the back. Yeah, fuck it. I will place these plants in here as well. Since I'm not wearing a mask, I'm having a runny nose. Usually I do this with a mask because I'm a bit sensitive to dust and I have a lot of substrate in here. Let it rain a little bit. This one has a bit of root rot. I think I can show you again with the picture trick. I will still use it. I just have to carefully remove the dead stuff. And now you get it, right? Why I'm terrified of root rot. Okay, and this one, this is bent kind of funny. It's gonna be a challenge to place it in here and put it on the moss pole, but challenge accepted. Okay, remove the substrate with one hand. This one has great roots, and the reason it has great roots is because it has a lot of orchid barks in here. I think I'm done with this substrate. I don't think I will use it anymore. I will use the fresh mix that I have. This video is like a workout. I just want for this moss pole to be stable. I think it's enough for now. I will use some... Let's search how to call this in English.
Jute.
Okay, I will use some jute. I just learned a new word today. And my scissors. And let's see how great this project ends up to be. That's a tall boy. I will take 2 vines. And for now, this is just temporary. I will try to support them with some jute. I will do the same thing with another 2 vines. This is like the tallest vine. Let me take a picture. This is how it looks like right now. I will try to bend it because this vine is way taller than the moss pole. And the moss pole is quite tall as well, so I have a pretty big boy. Okay, moving on to the next vine. Gently try to pull it upwards. Try to support it with some jute. Jute, that's a pretty sexy word. Jute, that sounds fancy. I'll be back because I have 3% battery. Probably the frame will be a bit different, but don't worry, you will see this plant in all its beauty just a bit later. Okay, so I'm back. Now I need to do the final adjustments and to make them stay in place, and I'll be back again. I just finished doing like the final touches, and this is the end result. Right now you'll see a B-roll with the full plant. Maybe on top of the moss pole I could have done a better job, but I thought it was a good idea just to bend it a bit over the top, because if I just try to take the shape of the moss pole, I think it would have put too much pressure on the plant, on the stem, and that's why it looks a bit odd. But I can't wait for this plant to grow because I have 9 plants in here, and for sure in a couple of years this will look super bushy. I mean, it already looks super great, but I can't wait to see the future with this plant. I think it looks great. This is a 10 out of 10. Now let me show you the back of the plant. As I've said earlier, this is not supposed to look great. I mean, I don't want to rotate this plant so much. I just want it to stay like this, so I don't mind it. Oh yeah, let's water this plant. I prepared a taller tray. I advise to hold your plant while you water it because the soil could get unstable. And let's water this plant like really good. You want all the substrate to be moist, not just the top. Since this plant is pretty tall and pretty big on its own, in the future I will do bottom watering. It's easier that way, and this is how you can prevent fungus gnats as well, because they like that excess moisture on top of the soil. After I'm done with this video, I will shower this plant and make sure the moss pole is also moist, because high humidity will help the area roots develop. And yeah, other than that, if you have this type of plant, or if you have plants growing on moss poles, this will also help your leaves grow fenestrated and bigger and bigger. And yeah, that's kind of it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up or consider subscribing for more plant content like this. And until next time, don't forget to take care of yourself and your plants.